Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another video. It's that time again, guys. Sorry if my voice sounds a little harsh. I'm still sick, but I wanted to make sure to get this video up. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be reacting to all of our Week 7 college football games. We're going to go through all the top 25 matchups and just give our instant reaction to everything that happened this past weekend. Some things went the way we thought they would. There was upsets along the way. It was a crazy week of college football, but that's the way the last couple weeks have been. That's what happens once you start conference play. Everything resets. The crazy happens. Let's go ahead and start reacting. Our very first game was our Friday night game, Friday, October 10th. We had number 24 South Florida. Welcome back to the top 25 Bulls. They're now 5-1. They beat the crap out of North Texas, who was undefeated at the time, 5-0. North Texas was playing good defense, good offense, but South Florida, we picked them to win. They won it. The game was a very high-scoring game. Brown continued to do what he's been doing the entire season, running the ball, throwing the ball. He had a great season. He had 82 yards on the ground, 2 rushing touchdowns. Mestamaker for North Texas. They continue to do what they do through the air raid, but South Florida under Alex Golesh, just too much offense so far this season. They control time of possession. They control the entire pace of the game. They won it. They will continue to move up in the top 25. A lot of people have them as the leader right now for the Power 5 teams to potentially make the playoffs. The higher they go, that benefits Miami too because they have the win versus them. The very next game, moving on to our Saturday games. Number 1, the Buckeyes, winning 34-16 versus number 17, the Fighting Illini. The Buckeyes continue to do what they've been doing the entire season, play elite caliber defense. They finished last season with the number 1 defense. They have the number 1 defense this year. They were coming into this game only giving up 5 points per game. They had yet to give up more than 9 points in any game. They gave up a couple more here. Yes, it was some garbage time. They won at 34-16, so now the most they've given up is 16. That's going to bump up their average up to what? 7 or 8. Doesn't really matter. The defense continues to dominate. Sayan continues to do everything that this team is asking him from. I want to see the Buckeyes get a little better running the ball, control the pace of the game, control the second half. That's where they lost this game. They had a massive lead going into the second half. They were up 20-3. They still won the game comfortably, but some garbage time points. I just want to see them close it out just a little more because these games are going to start getting a lot more competitive as we get deeper into conference play. The next game, now, how about this game? This was the game of the week. This was the game day game. Number 7, Indiana, on the road, Eugene, Oregon, playing number 3, the Oregon Ducks. Indiana, they won it 30-20, a dominating win. The final score does not give full justice to how electrifying Indiana was. How about Mendoza at the quarterback position? Might be the Heisman front runner right now. 215 yards, 1 touchdown. That's also what he did with his legs, extending plays, scrambling for first downs. Henry, Surratt, is there another wide receiver on Surratt's level right now? The connection he has with Mendoza is elite. They dominated Oregon in the trenches. Oregon, more. Not his best game, but this was the most competitive game for both of these teams. They both stepped up. Oregon, they were at home. Everything was in their backyard for them to win this game. They lost it, but that's all right. You guys are 5-1. Everything is still in front of you. Both these teams will be making the playoffs, and no matter what happens, once you make the playoffs, everything resets, but Indiana has set themselves up as the second best team in the Big Ten now, competing with the Buckeyes. They might be better than the Buckeyes. The season is early. We don't know yet. Props to Curt Cignetti. Just like the guy says, all he does is win. They have the quarterback, Mendoza. They have the running back, Hemby, and they have an elite wide receiver, number 1, with Surratt. The very next game, what a game this was. Washington State almost coming to Ole Miss and beating Lane Kiffin's team in their backyard. Ole Miss ended up squeaking out the win 24-21. That was not a comfortable game at all. I don't know if they got caught looking at next week. They have SEC play coming up. They might have easily gotten caught looking at SEC play, but that's how you get upset. We say it every single week. Ole Miss always has one of these letdown games every single season, a game that they are heavy favorites in that they end up dropping. They almost dropped this one. Sometimes you just play like crap and you lose. Ole Miss came in here, played like crap, and they won. That's all that matters is the final score. A dub's a dub. They got the win. They brought their worst out. They were able to find a way to win. That will be a building block going forward. Don't forget, Chambliss has only started a couple games with the Rebels here. This team will get a lot more cohesive as the weeks go along. You just don't want another performance like this. Very next game, we had the Florida Gators coming off that upset win versus the Texas Longhorns on the road. Versus number 5, the Texas A&M Aggies in College Station. They won this one 34-17. Lagway continues to play a lot better than the way that he was playing previous weeks here. Florida didn't run the ball as much this week, but A&M with the offense. Moss, Reed, Craver right now, it's like 25 yards per reception so far this season. They have an elite offense. They have a good defense. They're at home. This is a top 10 overall roster. The Gators, they were going to keep it close. We knew it. The team is rallied around Billy. This is when they really turn things on here. But Florida, they're just not going to win all these games. They've played how many? 6 games so far this season. 5 of those 6 have been against ranked teams. What a gauntlet of a schedule, and it just continues to get worse and worse from this point forward. It's going to be very hard for Billy Napier to get to a bowl game and try to keep his job. Then our second next game of the week, the Red River rivalry, the Red River shootout, whatever you guys want to call it. We had number 6, the Oklahoma Sooners versus the Texas Longhorns. Oklahoma was coming in here undefeated. Mateer, he was banged up coming off that broken hand, coming off his surgery. He did not play his best football this game. Forcing things. We've been saying this for a couple weeks now. Where's the Sooners run game? John Mateer is their run game. That's not good enough. Someone else has to step up in that running back room. They do not have elite wide receiver talent. They're not bad. Burks and company, they got some weapons there, but this is not the Oklahoma wide receiver core that they had back in the Lincoln Riley days, and it definitely showed this game. They weren't able to create separation. Texas's defense came out prepared to play. 3 turnovers. A lot of people want to praise Archie Manning. Yes, he made some good throws, but let's call it like it is. 2 of the 3 touchdowns they had were from the special teams and from the defense. Had nothing to do with the offense. I'm not sold on Arch Manning. I will say it. But with this Texas Longhorns team, this is a top 10, top 5 overall roster. Wisner went off. If Texas can run the ball, Arch Manning, that takes a lot of pressure off of him. They can run the play action. They can rely on their defense to dictate the game, which is what they did. And that's obviously a recipe for success going forward. The next game, number 8, Alabama on the road versus number 14, Missouri. This was a little bit of a scare game. Went down literally to the final drive, to the final minute of this game. Bama pulled it off 27-24. We had Bama winning this one. I think it was 30-27 or 28-25. It was a 3-point game. It ended up being a 3-point game. Bama inched it out. This was a very competitive team. Drinkwitz back-to-back 10-win seasons here. Perbola, great season so far. Penn State wishes they still had him. They had the number 1 rushing team in the SEC. They had a great wide receiver core. Perbola playing great defense. But Bama in here, Simpson continues to do what Simpson does. He is slinging the ball. One of the Heisman front runners right now. 200 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. They got Jam Miller going. I've been saying for a couple weeks now, Bama has to concentrate on that run game. You're going to need the rushing game as you get deeper in the SEC conference play. They were able to run when they needed to run this game. Brooks, Bernard, Williams, a lot of weapons on this Bama team. And our next game, we had Kansas on the road versus number 9 Texas Tech. Texas Tech put a good old shellacking on them. They won it 42-17. They lost Morton again. Hammond stepped in. Very serviceable backup. True freshman. Texas Tech, top 10 offense, top 10 defense. Who knew Texas Tech this season would be a trench warfare game? They run the air raid, and they also run it. They're playing great defenses. They have a great front 7, creating a lot of turnovers. Great offensive line. The number 1 transfer portal class coming in here. Daniels for Kansas. This was his most efficient start to a season of his career, and he has a very long career. Seems like he's been in college football for 15 years at this point. But Texas Tech, you got to love it. How about Dickey on the ground? 21 carries for 263 rushing yards. Texas Tech, they don't just throw it anymore, guys. They also run it, and they play great defense. Great story. Easily the front runner for the Big 12. Everything is in front of them right now. As long as they keep it up, they will be in the playoffs. After that, number 10, Georgia going to Auburn, beating Auburn 20-10. What a disaster this game was. This game was 4 to 5 hours. A lot of questionable things happened this game. You can call the goal line calls. There was 2 or 3 of those that got reviewed. The amount of reviews, the amount of pauses, the amount of timeouts, Kirby Smart, whatever the heck he was doing, he was straight up lying on the field. Everyone knew that he called timeout. A lot of questionable things. Georgia's like a cat. They have so many lives. They are finding ways to win, except for the Bama game. But it doesn't give you much confidence. If you are a Georgia fan right now, you are happy you won. You are not happy with the way you won, and you are not happy with what this means going forward. Stockton, is he the guy? Does he have that it factor? Definitely hasn't showed it so far this season. They continue to struggle running the ball. In the SEC, you have to run the ball. That's not optional. You need to run in the second half to suck up clock, control time of possession, control the pace of the game. In order to close games out, you have to be able to run it. Bobo, I've been very hard on him. Don't like the offensive play calling, but he's calling Kirby Smart's scheme. They wanted props to the defense for shutting Auburn out second half. But this offense here, it leaves a lot to be desired. Branch, Young, give the ball to your playmakers. It's as simple as that. Ball to your playmakers in space. Let them make plays. After that, LSU beating South Carolina 20-10. LSU, they've only scored more than 20 points like one time this season, and that was versus an FCS team. Yes, they won the game. It was an SEC win. South Carolina breaming for the upset here. They were able to avoid that. They won it. Props to them. Their defense playing really good for LSU. Top 10 defense right now. Year 2, Blake Baker, they're doing really well. The offense was supposed to be one of the strengths of this team. Definitely not the strength right now. They can't throw it. They can't run it. A lot of question marks. They got the dub. They're 5-1. Can't complain about that. Probably going to be a top 10 team once the poll comes out. But you can complain about the way they won it and what that means going forward as competition comes a lot more steep. After that, Tennessee winning a shootout versus Arkansas. We had this game, I think it was like a 33-36. It ended up being 34-31. It was a shootout. We had them winning it by 2 or 3. They won it by 3. It is what it is. Arkansas, Bobby Petrino taking the helm here. Bobby Petrino, very familiar, very successful head coach. You know they're going to have a great offense. Green, one of the most electrifying quarterbacks in the country, like 1,800 passing yards. He's ran for like 600 yards. He does a little bit of everything. They were going to move the ball. Tennessee's defense has been Swiss cheese this year. It's been awful, but they can score with anyone in the nation. Joey Aguilar continues to put up great numbers, but Bishop on the ground. Tennessee running the ball. That's what made the defense here. And they have a massive wide receiver core. Massive as in size. They're all 6'2 to 6'4 guys. Massive targets. They got the win. They're 5-1. Only one loss in conference. And then after that, you had Georgia Tech beating Virginia Tech 35-20. Haynes King continues to do what he's doing. 20 of 24, successful, but it's what Brent Key and this team does on the ground, running the ball, ground and pound, completely controlling time of possession. They have King. King will run 20, 25 times per game. Physical runs, putting his shoulder down, trucking people. Can he stay healthy doing that? Hasn't been healthy this season, but they continue to win. They are undefeated. The way Georgia played, Georgia Tech cannot wait to get a rematch for Georgia. They want to play them right now. They don't want Georgia to get better. They want to play them while their offense is limping. Right now, number 2 team in the ACC. If they make the ACC championship, because they don't play Miami during the regular season, that's going to be a fun game. Hey, both the teams could be undefeated. How fun would that be? Next matchup, we had number 15, Michigan versus USC. This was the most complete game I've seen the Trojans play of the Lincoln Riley era. We did have them winning this one. We were not surprised, so USC won it. Props to them. Mayava, Miller. They lost their starting running back. It didn't matter. Miller comes in. He runs for 158. Lane Lemon, one of the deepest, if not the best wide receiver core in the nation. Lincoln Riley, in my personal opinion, the best offensive mind in college football. And how about that defense? D'Anton Lynn, year 2, they're better than they were last season. They were able to match Michigan in the trenches. That's the big knock on Lincoln Riley teams. They can't compete at the line of scrimmage. They got rid of that discrepancy this past weekend. They were controlling at the line of scrimmage. The offensive line held up. The front 7 played well. USC 5-1. They're going to come back in the top 25, and they are an outlier now to potentially be competing in the Big Ten. Keep your eyes on this team, especially with that offense. When you can score points like that, a top 10 overall offense, you can slug it out with anyone. You always have a puncher shot. In our next game, you had number 16 Notre Dame beating NC State 36-7. We thought that they would win it comfortably. They did. How about the Notre Dame offense the last 3 weeks? The first 3 games, they were awful. The last 3 weeks, they look like the defense they had from last year. They finished last season the number 3 defense. Season started out giving up 30-something points a game the first 3 weeks. They have righted the ship there. The defense shutting people down. Great front 7, one of the best secondaries in the nation. The offensive line holding up. So much talent on this team. CJ Carr, first season as a starter. He is one of the best Notre Dame quarterbacks we've seen in a long time, in over a decade to me. He has Love, Pierce, Raredon, Greathouse, Faison. There's so many weapons on this team, and now they have a quarterback who can distribute the ball. Quarterback's best friend, running the ball. They can run the ball. Running back's best friend is a quarterback who can throw and take pressure off you. They have that very well-rounded team. If they win out, which they have to win out, they're going to be in the playoffs. After that, you had number 18 BYU double overtime win versus Arizona. Arizona, they came in here upset-minded. Fafita back for another season of college football. They had a good offense this season. Pretty solid defense so far. BYU, even with Retzlaff having leader. Brockmeyer comes in. They're able to still consistently run the ball. That's what BYU does. Special teams, defense, running ball. Martin on the ground, 25 carries, 162 yards. That made the difference here. They ran their way to victory. They were down for a while, came back, fought their way back, controlled the second half, controlled the double overtimes. They won it. They'll stay in the top 25. After that, you had number 21 Arizona State going down to Utah. We picked the Utes here to win this one. They're at home. Very difficult place for the road team to come. Kyle Whittingham, second longest tenured coach in the country, 5-1. They'll be back in the top 25. Devin Dampier ran for like 3 rushing touchdowns. He's doing everything. He ran for 120. He can sling the ball. They have a great defense. They have one of the best offensive lines, top 10 offensive line in the nation, and they're a physical line of scrimmage team. They're going to beat these teams up. Arizona State, they didn't have Sam Levitt, so they didn't really have a shot to win it. And then you had one of the upsets here. You had Colorado beating Iowa State. Iowa State lost last weekend. They followed that up with another loss here. They're now 5-2, probably going to get dumped out of the top 25. They'll probably come back to finish in the top 25 by the time the season ends, but it's very disappointing for them. They had Rocco Beck back, 3rd season with this team, very familiar, talented running back room. Sama ran for almost 200 yards, talented wide receiver core, physical defense, Matt Campbell team. But Colorado, Salter, veteran quarterback, they were able to pull off the win. Williams with 128 yards receiving, took a lot of pressure off of Deion Sanders here. They're 3-4. They still have hopes to make a bowl game. They don't have Shador. They don't have Travis Hunter, but they pulled off the win. That's a good building block going forward because they had to replace a lot of pieces from last season's team. Then you had another upset. Upset alert, Pittsburgh Panthers beating Florida State in Tallahassee, 34-31. Florida State now back to 500. It went from Mike Norvell being the savior after they beat Bama week 1 to everyone's back on the fire Mike Norvell train. Crazy how things switch that fast, but that's what happens when you lose 3 straight games. Started out 3-0, lost 3 straight, got beat by Miami. The final score of that does not give justification to how much Miami controlled it because that was a lot of garbage time points. Castellanos, a little banged up this game. They had the running back room, Sawchuk, talented wide receiver core. A lot of their weapons got hurt, but where was that Florida State defense? The offense wasn't able to control the pace of this game, slow the game down. They are so rush, up-tempo with Gus Malzahn that when they need to slow things down, that is not what they want to do. But when you're behind, you also can't slow it down. They had to sling the ball down the field. That's not the Florida State offense. They don't want to be playing catch-up. That's not the way their offense is built. Their defense has been atrocious now for 3 straight weeks. Doesn't look like it's getting any better. They're out of the top 25, and Mike Norvell's seat is back to being on fire. Guys, that's our quick reaction to all of our top 25 games. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Drop your comments below. What do you think of these matchups? If you want to sign up for one of our member teams, check out that pinned comment below. Click on the link to sign up there, and I would appreciate it. Of course, as always, thank you for watching.